Welcome to this video presentation on the new DAV Education Scheme 2018. It is presented through the first virtual Congress of Actuaries as part of the education stream at the ICA 2018 in Berlin. Within the next roundabout 20 minutes, it is my pleasure to give you some information on DAV's new education and examination system. This system describes and forms the requirements for obtaining membership in the DAV. My name is Henning Wergen and I am Managing Director of the DAA, the German Actuarial Academy, a subsidiary of the DAV, the German Association of Actuaries. DAA is in charge of organizing all training sessions to prepare for the exams to gain DAV membership. Every year, around 100 seminars with over 3,000 participants take place in education. Next to this, we also offer a broad variety of CPD events on-site as well as online with over 1,000 registrations every year. First, let me start with a couple of facts on the DAV, or as we say, Deutsche Aktuarvereinigung. DAV is the professional body of actuaries in Germany with 5,000 members and over 1,400 candidates in the education and examination process. DAV represents actuaries from all practice areas, ranging from life and pensions over health to non-life and finance. DAV has a well-defined scope set down in our mission statement. One of the objectives states that DAV creates the framework that assures the high level of professional qualification of members and awards the professional title Actuary DAV. This, of course, is directly linked to the education scheme. To become member of DAV, candidates need to have a university degree in mathematics or a related discipline and must have completed the association's own education and examination program, as well as having at least 3 years of practical experience. I will come back to these aspects later on. Some numbers on DAV. You can see that we are still growing and, as mentioned, around 1,400 young colleagues are in the education process and over 300 candidates enter the qualification route on average per year. Due to the steady growth over the last years, we are also a young association, as you can see in the age pyramid. But we are also quite traditionally focused as most continental European associations, with almost 2/3 of our members working in the insurance industry. As mentioned, candidates need to pass DAV's education and examination system to gain membership. Mutual recognition agreements excluded, there is no other route or option to qualify in Germany. This specifically means that there are no practitioners' pathways or university-exclusive routes to become member of DAV. Every candidate needs to have a bachelor's or master's degree with a minimum of 120 credit points in subjects with examinations in mathematics. With this, we can guarantee a profound knowledge in mathematics, and our national market asks for actuaries with a solid mathematical background. Next to this, also some basic knowledge in stochastics is needed, like measure theory, random variables, or hypothesis testing. As this is normally part of a regular mathematical program at universities, we have decided to define it as a prerequisite to our actuarial education. For candidates on alternative routes, we offer admission exams regularly. Our education and examination system is and has always been an in-service program. Graduates start their professional career at a company and then afterwards start their actuarial education, normally with the support of his or her employer. Candidates who registered for the education until end of last year entered into a system with 9 exams in basic knowledge, 2 mandatory courses in professionalism and IT, and 1 specialization module in the personal area of work. Basic knowledge covered the old IAA education syllabus and included topics like economics, financial mathematics, non-life insurance, or life insurance. In 2014, DAV board set up a group with experienced actuaries from different areas to do a fundamental review of the education and examination scheme. The group included people who back then were involved with our examinations as well as other members not that close to the actuarial requirements to gain membership. The main task was to define the requirements for future actuaries by becoming member of DAV. 4 main goals were defined. Strong focus on future challenges for actuaries. Strengthen position of actuaries against other professionals, i.e. other professions. Offer more and deeper specialization. Review and update governance structure of examinations. You see a couple of action steps that were taken by the task force. Of course, at first we reviewed the current requirements and learning objectives, especially against their practical relevance. We spoke to employers of actuaries about their expectations of future actuaries. We did this through our committees and also with a questionnaire together with the German Association of Insurance Employers. We received the feedback that employers still ask for a high technical expertise, but actuaries also need to be aware of business aspects as well as communicating actuarial facts, like model issues or probabilities of certain outcomes better. A very valuable feedback was also that employers value the way education and examination is organized. We integrated and asked newly and just recently qualified members what are their experiences with the system they went through. An essential feedback related to the transitions between individual subjects, for example, to the presupposed knowledge or superfluous duplications. See a couple of action steps that were taken by the task force. Of course, at first we reviewed the current requirements and learning objectives, especially against their practical relevance. We spoke to employers of actuaries about their expectations of future actuaries. We did this through our committees and also with a questionnaire together with the German Association of Insurance Employers. We received the feedback that employers still ask for high technical expertise, but actuaries also need to be aware of business aspects as well as communicating actuarial facts, like model issues or probabilities of certain outcomes better. A very valuable feedback was also that employers see the way education and examination is organized very positive. We integrated and asked newly and just recently qualified members what are their experiences with the system they went through. An essential feedback that came from that group related to the transitions between individual subjects, for example to the presupposed knowledge or superfluous duplications. And of course, we closely followed the discussion within the IAA on their new education syllabus. As the main goals of IAA and DAV were quite in line, this was of course a strong guideline for our work. So, what did we come up with? Candidates entering from January 1st, 2018, we have a new education scheme with 3 main components. In Block 0, as a 4th component, we still have the same prerequisites in mathematics and stochastics as before. So all future actuaries will still hold a university degree in mathematics. Basic knowledge now has 6 separate modules with exams, written exams with 100 minutes examination time, and 2 mandatory courses. Communications is a new module which was specifically demanded by employers. I have to disappoint you. Participants will not learn how to properly animate PowerPoint slides. It will be centered on the question how to present actuarial findings to non-actuaries within the company or to a client. The other topics are rather generic, perhaps with the exemption of insurance mathematics. In there, we use semi-Markov models to explain and model insurance contracts and show the application of this model in life, non-life, pensions and health. We will of course also look at similarities and differences. A candidate who finishes basic knowledge fulfills the new IAA education syllabus completely. This candidate has a broad knowledge on actuarial work and a general actuarial toolkit, ranging from deterministic models to a first glance at data science methods. In Part 1 of the specialist knowledge, a candidate has to pass 2 modules in his or her own personal area of work. All modules will have a high practical relevance. The learning objectives will be reviewed and updated on a yearly basis. In Part 2 of the specialist knowledge, a candidate has to choose 2 additional specialization modules. So, as a life actuary, you could go for Health 1 and Health 2 or Pensions 1 and Finance 1. Combinations can be done very individually, depending on the area of work or the route that young colleagues would like to take. Due to this high degree of individuality, you cannot really say if someone is a life actuary or a pensions actuary only. Allow me 2 remarks. Within the specialization 2 of 4 modules of the CIRA qualification for actuaries in enterprise risk management can be done. Furthermore, starting in 2019, we will offer specific courses in actuarial data science to give actuaries the technical and ethical tools to work in this area. After passing all exams, 10 in total, and evidence of 3 years of professional experience, candidates will receive DAV membership. Due to several reasons, we have restructured the new IAA syllabus to fit the needs of an in-service education system. Still, we cover the new IAA education syllabus and its learning objectives completely. Our module Economic and Legal Environment especially covers macroeconomics and microeconomics, as well as an introduction into legal issues. The foundation of the actuarial toolkit is presented in our module Applied Stochastics. This includes, for example, stochastic processes and time series. We will look at data analysis and statistical learning. Computer packages are used in the seminars and tested by presenting algorithms or outputs that candidates need to interpret. The module Corporate Management has been designed completely new. It follows the approach that a company and its activities can be valued in several ways, via local GAAP, international accounting standards, or for regulatory capital and economic capital reasons. All exams are written exams with a duration of 180 minutes. Within the specialist knowledge, candidates need to visit a mandatory preparation course of 3 days each. These seminars normally take place 4 to 6 weeks prior to the exams. Similar seminars with a duration of 3 or 4 days are offered for the exams in basic knowledge as well. There is no formal obligation to attend the seminars in the 6 exam modules in basic knowledge. However, exam candidates and also employers appreciate the offer very much, as on the one hand, a very concentrated and effective knowledge transfer takes place. At the same time, the personal network is built up. Some further highlights. Our basic knowledge is highly principle-based. Candidates learn that an application can be done in several areas. We think that these modules form a very solid and profound basis for future actuarial work. Within the specialist knowledge, as already mentioned, you can start your path to become CIRA. The new module Actuarial Data Science gives us a starting point to set up a new certificate for actuaries and non-actuaries in this area. We will start to offer the Certified Actuarial Data Scientist with additional modules from 2019 on. All learning objectives in basic as well as specialist knowledge have been classified via revised Bloom's taxonomy. This gives us a very good guidance in education, examination, as well as towards potential university exemptions that could be given for basic knowledge modules, but not for specialist knowledge modules. We have installed a revised process to draft and finalize exams. Now a completely independent group of reviewers checks draft exams and module solutions against the desired degree of difficulty, the coverage of learning objectives, and comprehensibility before finalization. Appeals are now handled in a 2-step process, with the second step being completely independent. A new system for recognition of university courses for basic knowledge modules has been installed. Especially with regard to the specialist knowledge, DAV's technical committees will now be strongly integrated to provide their knowledge for future specialist knowledge exams. Last but not least, the new education scheme has triggered a discussion around membership categories within DAV. Until today, DAV has only one category, the full membership, also known as Fellow. Over the last couple of months, we have been in discussion with members, membership candidates, and employers whether a second membership category below Fellow is needed or not. Such an associate level would be granted after finishing basic knowledge completely with 2 years of working experience. Associates DAV would have the same rights and obligations as fellows. This discussion is still going, but you can see that setting up a new education scheme can initiate quite some interesting questions. Thank you very much for watching this video and for your attention. If you have any questions or remarks, please do not hesitate to contact me via phone or email. Thanks and goodbye.